Welcome back to Centered Gaming. I'm Brent, and I'm here to show you how you can have a centered 3D Blu Ray experience. Okay, lately I'm taking a break from gaming and I'm just enjoying my movies. The other day I watched Avatar on my big screen in the family room. I used a device called the 3D Video Wizard. I'll show it to you here. I use this to convert the stereoscopic 3D from the Blu Ray to anaglyph, the red and blue style 3D, so I could watch on a 2D television set. Even one of my daughter's friends joined in, and he told me that he was pretty impressed with the quality of it, even though he's from a generation that has higher standards for technology. Last night, me and the wife watched Journey to the Center of the Earth the same way, and we had a great time. I also recently saw a video review of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness 3D Blu-ray and got really excited about watching this movie again at home on my PSVR, Royal Moon, or even using my 3D Video Wizard. But as the reviewer continued, he mentioned that he had to go on Amazon Japan to get this, and I think it cost something like $80 to get it. I thought to myself, this is really sad. 3D movies on your home TV did so terribly that some titles aren't even available in the USA. And you have to pay some ridiculous price to get them. I think about how much fun I have playing games in 3D at home. Games like House of the Dead Overkill on PS3 or Sniper Elite 3 on PS4. And it saddens me further that PS4 will probably be the last console that does 3D gaming. Microsoft didn't even bother to do it with Xbox One. So, what happened here? I mean, 3D is still alive in the theaters, even though not everyone wants to see their movies in 3D. But there are enough of them for IMAX theaters to be built and 3D productions to be made. Similarly, not everyone wants to watch 3D movies at home or game in 3D, but you'd think there would be enough people that would want to, that it would cut on better. But it didn't. It all boils down to one thing, in one word, and that is accessibility. You see, if something isn't in very high demand, like 3D movies and games, you can still have a market for it as long as you make it very accessible. It's not too much trouble, and it's not very expensive, and that's what I mean. Not too much trouble, not very expensive, very accessible. Then people will pay for it and people will engage with it and enjoy it. But that's not what they did. Now, about 15 years ago, I actually watched 3D movies at home on a tube TV using a DVD player of all things. I'll show you this. It's not the exact device I used then, but it's a similar one. I got this one on eBay recently, and it came with 3 movies, brand new, the movies, the player, all for $30 plus shipping. Just goes to show you how much these things have faded into obscurity. 15 years ago, I paid over $100 for the device alone. Go figure. Now, it's a simple device. It receives the video from your DVD player, then synchronizes with special glasses. So I'll show you here. Okay, so these special glasses have LCD shutters in them that alternately block out your left and right eyes quickly while the DVD plays a movie that alternates between frames that meant for the left and right eye. It's called frame sequential, or more commonly, flicker 3D. And, like I said, it was decent. Not the best way to watch in 3D. I actually find nowadays watching Blu-rays with my 3D video wizard in anaglyph on my big screen flat panel LCD much better. But that Flicker 3D system was the best I could get 15 years ago, and it was before 3D HD TVs hit the market. Now, when 3D HD TVs did hit the market in 2010, I was not very surprised to find it was using the same flicker technology as this gadget I bought to watch 3D using DVD. What I was surprised about was the price of these TVs. They were outrageous. They got consumers to believe that you needed some special, high-priced television to do this. But I wasn't the only one who knew this was a lie. About 10 years ago, there was a device called Edison 3D or Qingyang or something like that, which would convert stereoscopic cinema 3D to flicker 3D, which you could connect between your 3D Blu Ray player and your high-def 2D TV. I'd show you one, but I can't find it anywhere. I really would like to have one, and if anyone watching this knows where I can get one, please tell me. The very existence of my little 3D gadget and the Edison 3D device tells me that all they had to do was make 3D Blu Ray players that synchronized with shutter glasses, and there would be 3D for the masses. They could have even put out anaglyph Blu-rays that didn't require a special player. Just some cheap pair of glasses. If I can do this at home with my converter box, they sure as hell could release a 3D Blu-ray in anaglyph that could be played in a normal Blu-ray player, and probably could have made one in higher resolution than this too. Now, I have looked for anaglyph 3D Blu-rays, and they do exist, but not every movie that had a 3D theater release has a home release in anaglyph. Very few, in fact, but the most notable one that comes to mind is the Polar Express. But movies like Avatar or the Marvel movies that have come out in the last decade or so, no. They aren't going to be releasing anaglyph 3D versions of those. You have to find one of these gadgets and do a little rigging yourself. Now, I've said plenty in other videos about 3D gaming using PSVR. I found a trick that makes the PSVR do this, and so did someone else on YouTube. Well, if I can do it screwing around with my wires at home, so could Sony. But they won't, especially now, after we've been told the PSVR simply cannot do this for so long. They didn't make 3D gaming as accessible as they could have. And since there was not much of a demand for it in the first place, the whole thing died, and it's a real shame that it did. I hope someday Blu-ray manufacturer will, make a unit like I described, with the Flicker 3D built in, or even a built-in anaglyph converter. I hope someday that I can go into Target or Best Buy and see a wall full of Blu-rays that are in anaglyph 3D that includes some cheap paper glasses with them. I'd buy those movies. I hope someday that console VR will be compatible right out of the box for 3D gaming. I think whoever put that out would make their VR headsets more saleable, and the consumers would love it too. Samsung, Sony, and any other company that tried to sell us on these expensive 3D TVs 10 years ago need to simply admit they failed to dig all the way into our pockets and just plain make 3D more accessible and just build it into the players where it converts to anaglyph or synchronizes with these shutter glasses. You don't need a special TV for anaglyph, and you never, ever needed flicker technology to be built into your TV set. Even though these little tricks I do with 3D gaming and Blu-rays can be done as a workaround, most people aren't going to go to the kind of trouble I did to get 3D like this on TV or trick PSVR into playing 3D games like I did. It is up to the larger companies to simply make it more accessible. In the meantime, I'm having a blast watching movies with my 3D video wizard, and I don't care that it's anaglyph, a technology over half a century old. After all, people still read paperback books, right? If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, as I'll be reviewing some more cool stuff and showing you how to use it, like the 3D video wizard I mentioned, plus the Mixamp Pro, which has been exceptionally useful in the audio intercept method I've demonstrated in previous videos on how to patch a 2-channel audio signal into an HDMI output. Until next time, have fun gaming and stay centered doing it.